You've had a few days to be here in South Florida and prepare for the Discover Orange Bowl. How are preparations going to this point?
Well, it's gone really well. We came in a couple of days early. You have to excuse me, my voice is a little bit hoarse, taking a few days off for Christmas and trying to get these guys going again. Kind of strained my vocal cords a little bit, but it's we got in a couple of days early. Coach Sweeney wanted to get us in and kind of get these guys dialed in before all the bowl functions took place, and it's gone really well.
We've got two microphones roaming the room, two people roaming the room with microphones. If you can just flag them down, we'll bring a microphone to you. Open up with your name and who you represent and your question. We'll start down here on the left in the front row.
Craig Handel, Fort Myers News Press. With Sammy Watkins, did you feel like you could really throw a lot at him early, when you started fall practices, or did you want to feel like you had to gradually bring him along? And how did that kind of process change as you saw what he did on the field?
Well, Craig, one thing that we did when Coach Sweeney hired me and got here in January, that was the first plane that I was on, is to Fort Myers, to make sure that we were able to keep Sammy and at least let Sammy understand what we were going to be about, what kind of offense we were going to run. I remember sitting in his living room and talking to him and sharing with him, that, hey, look, we're going to throw the football deep, and we're going to get the ball in your hands. How fast you grasp this offense will be determined by you and how well you come in prepared. Being in this offense and having done this since 2002, I knew it wasn't going to take a whole lot to get him involved. It was just slowly grow him into it. As we started off fall camp, I should say, I just remember the players telling me, Taj and those guys telling me that, Coach, coming out of summer workouts, Sammy's going to be pretty special. But it took about 5 minutes in the first day of practice to realize I needed to figure out how to keep it simple and get him the football. And I think we've done a great job of that and growing him into this offense. So it took a little bit, but we still are a work in progress. We've got about 65% of our offense in, and that's about all we're going to do this year because we're just not there yet. We don't have all the puzzle pieces in place.
Next question. All the way to the right in the front row.
Whoops.
Susan.
Hi. I'm wondering if you could speak about Taj Boyd and what makes him special and how hard he is to defend and how has he grown into his role?
Well, Taj he's a pleaser. Taj is very conscientious about, if he thinks I'm upset with him, if he thinks that he had a bad day, if there's a concern that hey, Coach Morris and something isn't right with Coach Morris, he's real conscientious about that, and so he's always trying to do something to please, which is great, and that's what you want out of your quarterback. Coming out of spring ball, I knew Taj had the potential. Taj was trying to memorize the offense, and so he and I had a long talk. I say a long talk. It didn't take too long to tell him what I had to tell him, but it was to the point. And if he valued his playing career, he better take this summer workouts pretty serious, because if not, there'd be a young man, going to be pushing him pretty hard and heavy. So Taj dedicated his summer. I mean, he was there constantly. He was there. I think he took one day off this summer to go to the lake with his friends, and he basically focused in on learning the offense instead of memorizing it, learning the protections, learning his reads, and I think it, again, kind of like back with Sammy, after the first couple of days, there was definitely a different Taj Boyd than what there was in spring ball. Now, granted, he had to adjust to a new offensive coordinator. So what Taj did at that point as he came in during fall camp, grasping this offense, taking on the leadership roles, and to see him grow and mature in this offense has been amazing. I wasn't expecting it to happen as quick as it did. I kind of thought we'd have some road bumps or roadblocks along the way. Well, we did, but it was late in the season. And I was expecting some of the blunders that we might have had late in the season to happen early. But Taj was a lot of it had to do with we were simple with our offense. We were trying to keep it simple for him. And he did a great job growing into this offense, growing into his leadership role. Some of Taj's best friends are defensive players, and that's kind of uncommon with a quarterback. I mean, that tells you about his leadership. So I've been really pleased with Taj. Taj has done a great job. Still being pushed. Still got to coach him hard. He's got so much potential, and we've got still a long way to go to get to where we want to be. Our goal is for him and for us to win a national championship, and for him to be the best in the country. And we know what we got to do, and we know what we got to improve on during the off season for Taj. But I've been really pleased with him and his maturity through this whole process, even during the downtimes.
I'm going to stay in the front row to your right.
Steve Wine with the AP. Good morning. West Virginia's given up a lot of points this season. Seems like their defense has played better lately. What's your take on the way they've evolved defensively and the challenges and the opportunities that facing them might present?
Well, they're a very good football team, number one. As you look at their defense and you look at their odds stack or their 3-3-5 defense, and Coach has been there for quite some time, and they run extremely well. I think their linebackers are probably as aggressive a group as we've seen. They like to put they're one of the top teams in the country in pass defense. They like to drop quite a few back. They're going to bring their fourth defender somewhere in a rush. They're going to try to put some pressure on you, and then they're going to drop 8 and rush 3, and going to try to force your quarterback to make decisions at that point. And so, they have played a lot better defensively as of late. Got a lot of respect for those guys. To come out of the Big East and my former head coach, Coach Graham, was at West Virginia with all those guys, and that's what we would go against. And at Tulsa was the odd stack, and so it's something we don't see on a regular basis in the ACC. It's something that we ran at Tulsa, and so to attack it's a little bit different. We see it on occasion on some long yardage downs, but. I think definitely a well-coached football team, and they're going to be ready. It's a great stage for both teams, and I know they're excited to be here, and as we are, and we've got to do a good job of protecting the football.
We're going to your left-hand side in the front row.
Yes, I'm Mike Casazza from the Charleston Daily Mail. I have 2 questions, actually. The first one, I wonder if or how well you knew Dana Holgorsen when you were in Texas.
I had met Dana at a couple of clinics. Down in College Station at the Lone Star Clinic. I met him there and listened to him speak. Obviously, his time at the University of Houston and the recruiting our areas. And then when he moved on to Oklahoma State, we played against him when I was at Tulsa. And so, as far as just meeting, knowing him, and I've met him a couple of times. I know he's a very sharp-minded football coach on the cutting edge. And that's always great to see, and how he grows his offense, and they definitely have those guys going. But as a high school coach in the state of Texas, that was one of the guys that you always looked at, and again, always on the cutting edge of things.
And secondly, the tempo you all use on offense. West Virginia tries; they've had to scale it back this year, and you've, from start to finish, have done that and play with it frequently. How has that worked, and what do you have to be good at to continue to play that way?
Well, it's worked well. I mean, when we achieve our goal of running 80 plays a game, which is what we try to do, that is our goal. When we set pace for that, we seem to be operating on all cylinders when we're got high tempo going. So it's gone well. We still got a lot of things we got to improve on over the course of the off season. Things we've been working on during this bowl week or bowl month stretch, trying to improve our tempo even more. And so, I feel like that's what we are. We're a 2-back run oriented football team. That's what we are, and that wants to do it at a high tempo. And that's what when we're functioning and operating at our best, a lot has to do with our tempo.
We're going to go in the back row, all the way in front of you.
Bart Wright from Greenville. Chad, can you talk about that run-pass mix a little bit? Just elaborate on what you ended up with there, because you've had some issues at the running back position, and Bellamy's not here, and you know, there was some injuries and stuff. So with the kind of defense you're going to be seeing, are you in a good shape physically to attack that?
Well, Bart, I hope we are. I know we've been running quite a bit. You know, Coach has done a great job with our conditioning over the last several weeks and trying to get these guys. And, of course, our tempo in practice has been really well. You know, we've got to be able to run the football. You know, that's kind of every week. You know, Bart, you've seen us all year long. We've, you know, when we're putting points on the board, it's because we do a great job of mixing up our run pass. We do a great job of our tempo. And this is no different. You know, it's the games that we have to be lopsided one way or the other is when we're not at our best. And so there's no question we've got to be able to run the football. We've got to be able to throw the ball effectively. You know, and Taj's got to make good decisions. But with our running back right now, with Mike not being here, and we've got Andre and DJ and Hot Rod behind them, that's what we got. And so that was what we had going into the championship game. So, you know, again, those guys have got to do a good job protecting the football, and you know, we got to be physical up front.
Ellington physically okay? Is it better than he has been? About the same? What would you say?
Well, I think he's better. You know, better than you know, obviously before the championship game when I didn't know if he was quite 100%, but obviously he played that championship game like he was with a little bit of time off. And, you know, I think you're going to see Andre back to where he would be at the first of fall camp.
I'm going to go in the second row to your left.
Hale McGranahan, CUTigers.com. Coach, when you're a couple years ago when you were back in Texas and thinking about getting into the college game, could you have dreamed that in just a couple of years you'd be coaching in a BCS game?
No. No, you know, you know, as a coach, you know, you try to put goals for yourself and as you do for your team. And, you know, everybody likes to set goals for themselves. My goal was by the time I turned 40, I wanted to have an opportunity, at least have an opportunity just to coach college football. At 41, I had that opportunity. I actually had it beforehand, but it just wasn't the right situation at the right place. Taking an opportunity to go to Tulsa last year, and you know, no one envisioned that you know you'd be sitting in quite the stage that we're in right now, this quick after coming to Clemson just a year ago. So it's been great. You know, we don't have time to kind of sit back and look and analyze things. You know, we'll do that probably here in a few weeks. We get a little bit of time off. We can sit back and think, wow, you know, we had a good season or we had a great season or these are. But as a coach, your mind always works. What do we got to improve on? And what are we going to have to do to get better? And you know, what kind of recruits do we need to go get to get better and fix some of the problems that we have? So there'll be time, and it is you know, I've been very blessed, and but we got work to do, but it is a you know, we're going to enjoy it, but we're going to go to work and get things done that need to get done.
All right, we're going to keep Coach up here for a little while, but want to let everyone know that the player interview room is now open. Taj Boyd, Sammy Watkins, Andre Ellington, Dalton Freeman, Landon Walker, and Dwayne Allen are all over there. So we will give you all a moment to exit the room if you're going to exit, and then we will continue with Coach here in just a moment. How long are they there? They'll be there, Larry, until 10. The player, 9:45. All right, let's go ahead and right here on the inside aisle on your left.
Hey, Coach, David with TigerNet. Just number one, how is Sammy's shoulder? And then number two, the players all seem to be saying that there's a different feel about this team after the ACC championship game, more confidence, the practices are more intense. What do you think winning that game and the style that you did for this team, and what did they learn about themselves?
Well, I think, you know, we were at a stage coming into that game that confidence was an issue. I think that we had played with great confidence for 9 weeks, approached fall camp with an unbelievable confidence. And then all of a sudden we hit a tailspin. We get some injuries, and you know, our quarterback wasn't playing as good as he had been playing the first 9 weeks of the season. And confidence became an issue. And I think coming out of the championship game, if it did anything to us, it improved our confidence. You know, I know in the first half of the championship game, it was by design that, you know, I had to be more conservative than I would ever envision being in a game. for the simple reason I had to get Taj's confidence right. And so, you know, we come in 10-10 at half, and we make a play or two in the start the second half, and you just saw everybody's confidence level just start soaring. And so I think that's one of the things, you know, that we've gotten out of it. You know, got our confidence back, kind of got the, you know, guys kind of got their swagger back a little bit with them, and where we were. And it's all, you know, as quickly as we lost our confidence, we got it back that quick. But I think one of the things that we've done, and I think Coach has done a great job during this bowl preparation, is we've been extremely physical. You know, very aggressive against each other, lots of good on good, you know, O versus D, you know, tackling, taking them to the ground, the whole bit, you know, especially early on in bowl practice, and just setting the tempo. And even the first 2 days down here, first 3 days down here, was you know, it's a no bullcorn approach. I mean, we're going after it, and I think you saw some guys. You know, Sammy's shoulder's good. I know he took a pretty good hit in practice the other day on a pass, and hop right up, and away he went. You know, if his shoulder was bothering him, he would have definitely been limited from that point. But I think you got him back healthy, and that's always good to have.
On the inside aisle, straight ahead of you.
Coach, Jeff Jenkins from Metro News Radio in West Virginia. Will you be even more aggressive, you know, kind of working off that answer heading into this bowl with your play calling, knowing too that West Virginia is hurting a little bit at one of the safety spots? Will that change your thinking at all?
Well, no, I mean, will it change our thinking? No. I mean, we're going to do what we do, and we've got to be able to you know, be who we are. What got us to this point in the season. You know, we try to do a good job of mixing up the run and the pass. So are we going to change our thought process? You know, no. And if we were, I couldn't tell you. So you know, it's one of those type of deals. But we feel like that you know, we've got to make sure that we do the things that got us here, protecting the football, being physical, playing physical. And being aggressive, and that's who we were. That's who I've been since 2002, and it's not going to change. You know, it's unfortunate, and you know, I heard the injury report, and it's, you know, it's unbelievable. You know, but I hate that for that young man. What a great football player, and but again, you know, we've got to do what's got us here to this point.
Any other questions? No. Coach Morris, thank you very much for your time. Good luck in the Discover Orange Bowl.